223.
Hello, hashtag Verse TV family, and welcome. It's week 223. I'm Aaron Mack, here with my good friend Kevin, aka Basic Complexity, and he will actually take it away again. It's week number 223, and Kevin will take it away with the question, a part of our number share program, as I've called it, for 222. I'm going to press this random question generator 223 times. Are you ready? All right. Five. Six. I'm kidding. So the first question that you have an option to answer is, what's the most valuable life lesson you have learned because of a mistake? Now, if you don't want that one, we can go to the next one.
Thinking. All right. I will. I learn my belief that you don't have to always be right. There are lessons for your author. So everything is just not perfect.
All right. Well, that's fair. And I will go into my new song of the week. And my new song is one of the oldest of the new songs, kind of like I and both Kevin and myself are some of the oldest of the millennials. But my new song is none other than 2013 song by Janelle Monáe called It's Code from the Electric Lady album. And yeah, in the song, she's talking about how I pushed you into the arms of another lover, but I wanted you. I wanted to be with you. But because of my whatever my situation was going on, I pushed you away and I pushed you right into his or her arms. And we're actually going to get into that today. But baby, it's cold. It's cold. Like it's confused cold, but it's cold. That's not what I wasn't trying to push you away. I was just trying to, and this is real. I was trying to test your sincerity with me to see if you really it. So I'll tell you what I want, what I really you wanna I wanna really wanna zig a zig. Anyway, Basic Complexity, what's your older song?
Okay. So for well, the older part are and should notice probably even some of the young also it was a hit when they in the ladies. Um one of the duets. Um the voice is mine by and Monaghan.
FYI, as I say every week, Kevin is Team Monica, I'm Team Brandy, or at least we were in high school, but now Team Monica and Team Brandy are able to be fans. But I particularly mentioned that in reference to him talking about how he prefers the version with Brandy and Monica as opposed to with Brandy. I'm like, shade? Anyway.
Hell,
But
that
I do think that was an exceptional duet, and I do think it was great
yeah,
for both of them to be on that song together.
yeah,
Are you ready to get this show on the road, my friend?
yeah.
Hashtag can't wait at Amanda Seals TV, hashtag Verse TV 223A.
needed you to make themselves feel strong.
To absorb.
Yes.
They're vampires.
Yes.
Right. I got it. And you know, for a while I was like,
And God bless them.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, it's like, you know what?
That's your punishment
sucks for you.
Yeah.
That sucks
That
for
you
you.
just got to go. You got to hop. You'll never
grow roots.
No.
But I feel like like you said something earlier just about like trust. It's like, it's very hard to trust, but what happens for a lot of us is that we form bonds really quick and we think it's something else. We think it's connection. We think it's chemistry. We think it's love. And it really is just, they made you feel good. And so your brain said, oh, this person made us feel good. Let's be around this person more. And we have to be the conscious ones to say, that did feel good until further notice.
Right. And then the source says, hiya!
Nobody can fake longer than 3 months. Mm-mm. I mean, you have to like really be disciplined and be like, I'm not going to internalize how you make me feel for 3 months. I will examine how you make me feel. I will acknowledge it. I'm not going to just be closed off, but I can't internalize. I can't let it get into my cells. I can't let it be cellular.
All right. Basic complexity, it's on you, my friend. She said, I won't let it be cellular.
All right. Yeah, in my mind, this is a very important topic, especially for the younger ones. I'm sorry. They need what they need to be aware of. Personally, it has is always personally it's always been months for me um to tell a significant other that I love them. Um but and but it is something that that for me personally um will more or less a lifetime if it is true and genuine from jump. Um, and like I personally am the type of guy when I am in a relationship and I tell my significant other that I love them, that's coming from the heart. I truly mean it, and I will never stop. Now, the type of love that changes, I get that, but love in general, overall, it does not fade. There's only been one time in my entire life where I felt kind of forced into saying I love you. I ain't really mean it. But that was only once. I truly do love every other ex I've had since then. And yet that's what I have.
All right. Well, New Edition said, if it isn't love, why does it? Anyway, so for me, 3 months can be quite a while, you know, but I kind of think it's reasonable, kind of cool, you know, as a nice, fun minimum to make sure that love is real.
There we go.
But everybody's relationship is different. So there's no set amount of time that is the answer for everyone. And yeah, I said 3 months is a lot of time, but it's not too much. It's both. Anyway, my connection is I ran my connection events in my mind, and hearing them talk about, well, somebody can't fake it for 3 months, so they have to make it for 3 months. And I was like, well, has everyone I dated been and at a point of after 3 months? And have I followed this rule? But as I've stressed, every relationship is different. And I also connect this to the rule that I have explaining that people need to first date public place, because what they said about them not being able to maintain the facade over the course of 3 months, that kind of also applies to people who, in many cases, people who have bad intentions for you. They're not gonna, like, if you say first date public place, you know, they're not gonna keep up the facade for long. And I always reference that dude who we lost basic complexity. It's okay, he'll come right back. But that dude who wanted me to come over and his house on the first date, and I was like, no, can we meet at Subway? And he was like, no, just come over to my house. It's going to be dimly lit. And the reason I'm telling this whole story is because I have a little extra time since basic complexity appears to have stepped away for a moment. But he wanted me to come over to a house that I was prepared to have dimly lit with candles alone. And I overhear him have a conversation on another call because he got somebody who called him while he was on the phone attempting to woo me. And they called him, and I heard him on the other line like, yeah, I'm trying to get him to come over now. I'm going to get him to come over now. And it's so, and I know I've told this story before, but whoever might be new hearing this story, I think it's important because I would have, if I was somebody who was down for a home time on the first night, I'm willing to bet dollars to proverbial donuts that I would have come over, and that friend that he was talking to on the other line would have popped out at me out of nowhere. And I would have just been like stuck and jumped. And I actually know of situations where stuff like that actually happens. And that's unfortunate, but oh well. And I took a little extra time, but now I'm back. And I may form bonds with people quickly if it feels right. If it feels right. And it is hard to balance. And on the same side of, or on a different side of that same token, or however I'm going to use the analogy, there have been times that going too slow and forcing the 3-month thing makes things go south when they could have possibly been good And sometimes that's not slow enough. I don't know. Again, every relationship is different. Patience is key. And, ooh, I was going to go into all of that. Goodness. Um, Very quickly, I'll say some of my strongest bonds that I formed with people, the longest bonds have been like in my 20s, mid 20s, like 23, 24, 25. And that's because I was really not pressed for a relationship like I had been before and sometime after, just desperate for a relationship, throwing myself at people. But I actually had a really good, at that time, a good group of friends. So I was just not stressing relationships at all. I was like, whatever, whatevs. Anyway, basic complexity, you're one square.
Yes. Um. Give me just.
Well, I can keep going about the relationships, and then you give me a notice when you're already for your one squared. But
Yeah.
as far as those relationships at that time, I, like I said, some of them were my longest connections with people. Longest, and I was like, and it was longest because I wasn't even looking for love, really. But it's so funny. I always go back to that Destiny Child song when Beyonce says, basically in the song Love. And I actually love that song Love. Destiny's Fulfilled album was actually really good. Actually, I don't think Destiny's Child's made an album that I don't like. I'm sorry, I'm gay. I can't help it. Anyway, but in the song Love, she talks about how she found a real love, but she had to give up on love first. And I hate that. Hate's a wasted emotion. I intensely dislike that. Having to give up on love in order to find love. But I kind of get it, and it's kind of what happened to me. But I've that's not always how it has to go, people. Anyway, Kevin, are you back? Do you have your one square?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just one word. I don't want to misread, but basically, what I have is, wow. Uh, yes. Get my is broke this morning. Um. All right. So I have extremely strong morals and try. Okay. And try your best not to let things slide past them, past your morals. And that's what I have.
Cool. Short and sweet, I say. But again, every relationship is different. And I do feel that Amanda Seals and T.S. Madison were indeed gem dropping. So, the hashtag VerseTV family yes or no question is I've been thirsty, desperate too. Yes, I have. Can we slow the love rush, yet still maintain mutual interest with our respective partners? That's a yes or no question. Hashtag VerseTV family. Leave your thoughts in the comments. We respond to comments. I was actually just responding to a comment earlier today. Anyway, all right. Basic complexity. Are you ready for B, of which I will go first?
Yes.
All right. Hashtag Verse TV family. Share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Hashtag feature diversity at Ask AI WhatsApp. Hashtag VerseTV223B. Question. Why do black people have big lips? Answer. The notion that, quote, black people have big lips, end quote, is a stereotype that has been historically used to perpetuate racist and dehumanizing views. It is important to approach discussions about physical features with sensitivity and respect for diversity. Lip shape and size vary among individuals of all races and ethnicities. There is no inherent characteristic that can be universally attributed to all individuals of African descent. It's crucial to recognize that human genetic variation is complex and influenced by a multitude of factors, including geographic origin, intermixing of populations, and individual genetic inheritance. It is essential to challenge and reject stereotypes that perpetuate harmful racist biases. Physical features should not be used as a basis of making generalizations about people or assigning value judgments. Let's celebrate and appreciate the diversity of human physical features without reducing them to stereotypes or attempting to explain them solely based on race or ethnicity.
My answer, my initial reaction to this is I was indeed quite pleasantly surprised how beautifully ChatGPT explained that answer about why do black people have big lips. And they honestly, this answer from ChatGPT, courtesy of for those of you who have WhatsApp, if you send a message to Ask AI, ChatGPT will answer your question. But for free, you only get 2 questions per day. You only get 2 interactions per day, honestly. And but they actually have a deal where you could get a lifetime pass. And I know I'm a crazy, ridiculous techie, but I did get the lifetime pass because I think it's so cool. Largely on the strength of the fact that that answer to that question, because I've already explained when I looked that question up before, why do black people have big lips? The sea of racist answers that are on the internet, I was like, wow, okay. But ChatGPT sifted through all of that and said, no, you will not be racist. Different people have different looks. And that also reminded me one time I saw this dude. I don't know why in my mind I said he was German, but whatever he was that fully. And he had very round, full lips and very large lips, if you will. And I was like, that's so interesting, you know? And that's what ChatGPT, our ChatGPT friend, was saying, that different people have different looks. Don't make it a race thing. because race is a social construct to begin with. But don't make it an ethnic thing. Like different people live differently. We're all human. It's just like humans healing. We all have different bodies. We all have different anyway. Oh my gosh. I love Chat GPT and how Chat GPT nipped the ignorance in the bud. It's like, no, no, no. You won't ask a question like that. That's ridiculous. Different people are different because we're all human, but we're all the same because we're all human. Yes. And Mo Gaudat's book, Scary Smart, which I'm reading, and I love it. I know it seems like I talk about reading it all the time, but I am reading it. And I will finish this in my 1 minute. I'll start from the beginning because he is an exceptional individual. Basic complexity.
Yes, and I just don't want to read the wrong, but we on B, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Um, I think the answer to the question was perfect. However, the issue, the issue still comes down to the individual making the initial statement. And if we are willing to be open minded and also um also learn some new things about evolution, because yeah, it's definitely not something that's just that easy. It's a process that takes a long time. And yeah, that's what I have. I can't hear you.
Thanks. Mo Gaudat's book, Scary Smart, is very good and interesting. And he talks about how at this point in our world, AI is like a baby, and it's actually interesting reading that book because he talks about how I'm sort of realizing, and I'm not going to go into all of this, but I realize he sort of sees AI as kids due to perhaps related to his personal difficulty in life that he's uh, experienced. And he sees AI as like kids. So he's like, I love AI. He's like, AI is like learning. They're learning things. They are young. Now they're young, but they have access to the wealth of knowledge that is out on the internet. And there's a wealth of knowledge. There's also a wealth of baloney, lies. But AI has the access to everything to sort of sift through it all. Anyway, yeah, through all recorded history. And maybe one day we'll learn to think like AI. And yeah, yeah, the one sentence, well, the concluding, I'm not going to even say that, but we are all learning it's imperative that we put our good out there for AI to learn good. Okay, what we're putting on the internet, and I'd like to think that hashtag VerseTV is a part of the good that is being put out there for the AI to see and learn from. And this could be our chance to evolve. Yes, Olita Adams, I love that song. I love that album, actually, Evolution. It's exceptional. And save humanity with love. I'm excited for what's next. And our next steps are crucial because it's like we'll either create AI that uses its processing power. I was going to say mental power, but I think it might be different for AI, but uses its processing power for good if we put good out there. But if we put a lot of bad out there and a lot of teach them how to not have answers, like we need to accept that people are different and accept people's differences and love people. You know, if we don't put such positive things out there, then the AI will have negative things to pull from, because again, it's just pulling from the wealth or dearth of knowledge that is the internet. And he says, either we will be happy, friendly with the AI, like, wow, thank you all for finally helping us evolve to save humanity. Or we'll be running in fear from AI, like Terminator, you know? So let's put good out there, okay? Basic complexity or one square?
Yes. And I personally sorry. Artificial intelligence, it will only work based on the or artificial intelligence will only work with a community that are willing sorry community that are willing to learn and expand our intelligence. And that's what I've.
The hashtag VerseTV family yes or no question is, have you ever been helped with an answer from our ChatGPT AI friend yet? Friends, I don't know. But from ChatGPT AI, I was going to say how, but I realized like that's something that I'm not talking about very publicly yet. To come. It's to come. It's to come. But I'm not see, what I need to do is just shut up. Basic complexity. Are you ready for the next topic?
Okay.
Hashtag connection underappreciated at humor_animations. Hashtag VerseTV223C.
So she's not younger than me, she's not skinnier than me, and she's not prettier than me. Then why couldn't it just be me?
Because she's softer than you. She's quieter than you. She doesn't yell at me. She doesn't call me an idiot or tell me to shut up all the time. She listens to me. She's nice to me. She doesn't make me feel like the only thing stopping her from being happy is me.
Ooh, that is powerful. I love that scene. Now, that's actually a scene from a movie, an actual human movie, but they used the little stick figures to sort of reenact it. Either way, that is just so powerful, in my opinion. And the question that we will be answering is, reference a time that you were on either side of this video's discussion. Reference a time that you were on either side of this video's discussion. Either your love was underappreciated or mismanaged, or you underappreciated or mismanaged the love of another until the connection was gone. Don't know what you've got till it's gone. Who sings that? Basic Complexity. I know you know, because I'll give you a hint. That was, I think that was junior high school, actually. Right before high school. Got Till It's Gone.
Oh.
With Q-Tip.
Yes, because I know the song. I just can't get it all together. But hold on. Was that the Janet?
Yep, Janet Jackson, The Velvet Rope, which was released, I believe, 1997. So that would have been junior high for us. But yeah, that was. I didn't love that album when it first came out, but I went back in my latter years and actually fell in love with that album in a large way in terms of her repertoire. Like, I really like her. I actually fell in love with Janet Jackson around college, you know? Like, she was amazing and everything before that, but I was just like, I could take it or leave it. But in college, I actually really fell in love with Janet Jackson. Anyway, maybe it's because I got a little more of a brain power. Anyway, let me stop. So, my first answer is this. C. Oh, sorry. The acting in that scene was primo, marvelous, simply marvelous, darling. And the acting and the review, it's like, it's sad that people can be like that, you know? And to answer the question, did I underappreciate someone, a partner of mine or partners? And yes. Going back to my early to mid 20s, when I was like 23, 24, for one particular person, I remember Aaron, you're acting as if this is your first time even thinking about it. It's not my first time thinking about it. But he actually wanted to get married. And, us being early geriatric millennials, at that time, when we were in our early mid-20s, that was not legal for us. The closest thing that we had was civil union. And I think that he did want that. He was like, that would be cool. But I was too afraid. And additionally, he, yeah, he was very ethnically, racially mixed, you know? And part of that mix was okay. He doesn't. He'll know it's him if he watches. But I know you don't watch or whatever. But part of his mix was Indian, and this will be a good opportunity for me to explain a little bit because I I would sort of pick with him about that, but that was just because of my one, it was ignorant, but two, I connected it with how everybody's like, well, I'm 1/16th Indian talking about Native American, but no, he was actually Indian from India and beautiful. Oh my gosh. Anyway, but yes, well, part Indian from India. And I remember it wasn't until after we broke up and after I underappreciated him, I was talking with a good friend of mine about the awful things that I did, not realizing it was awful. And my friend was like, Aaron, you were an a hole. That's an a hole thing to do. You don't do that. That's not proper for proper society. And it wasn't until he put me in my place like that that I realized, oh my gosh, he's right. That was the wrong thing to do. And here he was just so sweet and nice to me. Oh my gosh. Uh, and I'll save it for my 1 minute, but I will finish this piece. Basic complexity.
All right. What else? Let's
C.
say. Um, just I guess also touching on what you said. In the past trip, all right, yes, I was definitely underappreciated or treated like trash, and then they cheated. I ended that, but after all that happened, I more or less um treated my following boyfriend like trash, even though I told him from jump I wasn't ready for a relationship because I had just gotten out of a lengthy bad one. But yeah, he talked me into it. And then I realized I didn't need to be in another relationship yet. But I didn't have the guts to break up with him. I was like, he gotta break up with me. So and it was so wrong, and I apologized to no end, but I did like a complete a hole intentionally to get him to break up with me, which he eventually did. But in years past, we've worked past all that. I explained everything to him, but I definitely was not in a place to be in another relationship yet. But yeah, that's how that worked out. And this whole thing actually also, and I don't know what, but a song just came to mind. And this was years ago by the group Cherish. The song Unappreciated. And yeah, I love it because it was just so spot on. And yeah, at the time, that was how I felt with my second boyfriend, that I was unappreciated for everything that I was willing to do for that person. But it moved past it, and that was years ago. But yeah, definitely grew, and wow, I was 19, but definitely grew up, matured, and moved past that. And yeah, that's what I have.
I too love that song, Unappreciated by Cherish. Now, I'm going to really test you on your so called millennial knowledge. From around the same time, a few years early, actually just a few years earlier, somebody had a song called Underappreciated. Do you remember?
Um, okay.
Who I feel underappreciated.
Boom. Oh, are you, and I could be so wrong, but are you talking about Christina
Christina Aguilera, what?
the song?
Yeah, the song is Underappreciated by Christina Aguilera. Technically, I meant to be asking what album, but Stripped.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
what I'm gonna say, because I love that album.
I loved because and we don't have a topic F this week, so we can take a little. Actually, we'll take a little after because this is D, and we don't want it to mess with the times. So anyway, but suffice it to say, yeah, and yeah. So I'm gonna, because sometimes things don't need to be said. Anyway, so also as far as me and that guy, I had this is my 1 minute, relationship fear of flying because he really liked me as I really liked him. I was just, I was young and confused. He was 4 years older than me and all of that. Anyway, but yeah, years later, in attempting to reconnect with him because like I don't know what you got till it's gone. You know, Janet Jackson said it best. And I, in communicating with him later, I realized like, oh, he's not looking for love like I'm looking for love, at least not from me. Because I actually think he did get married. He did find that. Oh, yes, yay. You know, yes, we can. And I think at that time, this was before he actually got married. He just wanted to interact with me for the sake of knocking it down, as our good PG County sister, Melanie King, says, talking about, she's like, sometimes guys, they don't want love. They just want to knock it down. And I'm like, but that's what he wanted. Anyway, and I will say, like, as it was raining today, back in before I came, because if you all can tell by the setup and the lighting, I am in Columbus. So, anyway, but it was going to rain, and in terms of it raining, I thought about the song that I love, and I still love that song, and I want to add it to my playlist, called "It Will Rain" by Kelly Price. Do you remember that song?
Actually, no.
Oh, okay. It was from a soundtrack. It was I feel, I'll put it like, it was early Kelly Price. And for those, this will be a like special mystery for those who know the song. I will say, I ultimately don't, I wish bad, I wish good. I don't know why I put the word don't. I ultimately wish good for all of my exes, you know? Yeah, anyway, I was going to quote the song, but I will go into my one sentence and say, respect what you've got before it's gone. And you have to learn hard lessons. But you learn those lessons and you grow from those lessons. Basic complexity, you're one square, and then I'll do the hashtag Verse TV family question.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's what it is. Basically, that sometimes you have to learn life lessons, and they might really hurt, but you will. Crap. And sorry, I just can't see it. um, and you still learn something new from the situation, and that's what I've. Can't hear you.
I know. The hashtag Verse TV family question is, have you ever underappreciated a romantic partner? Yes or no? You can share more if you wish, but at least leave a yes or no. Have you ever underappreciated a romantic partner? So, basic complexity, are you ready for part D?
Yes.
All right. Share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you very much. Very much. Thank you. All right.
Hashtag Trend Reality at Tabitha Speaks Politics at Def Not and hashtag VerseTV223D. Text: folding chairs in all colors will soon be banned. But don't worry, you will still be able to freely get your automatic assault weapons with Bump Your Stocks.
Stop! Stop, bro! You're gonna get fucked up. I'm telling you.
The man who invented the folding chair was black. And it wasn't him. This is Lewis Latimer, the man who invented the filament light bulb. This image has been going around. It's on a lot of reputable websites. It even got me. Thank you guys for telling me that this is not Nathaniel Alexander. The man who invented the folding chair, Nathaniel Alexander, is not very well known. People don't know a lot about him at all. They don't know when he was born. They don't know when he died. They just know basic tidbits about him. And actually, there's really no known picture of him. But here are a couple things that we do know. He was down with W.E.B. Du Bois. He was part of the Niagara Movement, a movement of black intellectuals and scholars who wanted civil rights. And they would convene on a regular basis to discuss how best to implement civil rights in America. Another thing we do know is that he applied for his patent in March of 1911, and it was given to him on July the 4th of the same year. Now, we know he existed because there were people that were there to attest to it. The people that were witnesses to him signing his patent. They were Baptist ministers. And he meant for the folding chair to be used in churches, auditoriums, and even boats.
All right, now I heard you chuckle, Mr. Death Not Ant, but thank you for that moment. Basic complexity, are you ready with D?
Yes. All right. I have found that I found this really interesting because I have learned over the years that a lot of things that we as a public take for granted were actually created by African Americans. And collectively, those things, and these are definitely minor things, but if we didn't have them, life would suck pretty much. And yeah, that's what I have.
Well, you know what song that reminded me of? Because I am like increasing in my fandom of her now, particularly in her promotion of her latest album, Chemistry. My life would suck without you. Do you know that song?
Actually, no.
Okay. Whatever. Anyway, that was Kelly. I almost said Kelly Price. Kelly Clarkson. Diva. But Kelly Clarkson is exceptional. Like listening to her, I am like in awe so much.
Yes.
Like she, yeah.
It is the original American Idol.
She is. And
Very first.
yeah. You know, it's funny. I almost made topic F a scene from Justin to Kelly. Do you remember that?
Yes. I ever actually sing the movie, but I knew of it.
I didn't see it either, but Terrell Grice had an interview with Kelly Clarkson, and even, huh?
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, you know, even Kev on stage was like, "You got Kelly Clarkson? Oh my gosh!" You know, and it was a great interview. Like, and Kelly Clarkson was like, "I really like this, and you do a good job, and you know your stuff." And it was a great interview. I really liked it. But I was going to say, wait a minute. Did you give your answer? You did. So it is time for mine. Yeah. So yes. And the comment. Wait, did you give your answer?
I believe I did.
Okay. The comment was very much I wouldn't put it past the realm of possibilities for outcomes for folding chairs to be made illegal, but automatic weapons, because at the end of the day, automatic weapons have the bigger lobbying firms and larger money. So no matter how many mass shootings happen at school, it's that the lobbying firm money goes to the gun people. So the people who have the power to make decisions are the gun people. Anyway, yes, outlawing the chairs and not the guns, it kind of feels like a middle school thing. Now, will they actually outlaw chairs, folding chairs? It's a farcical possibility, but I don't believe it's impossible. I don't believe it's absolutely impossible. And it's kind of like the Chick-fil-A cow talking about eat more chicken. It's like, really? Okay, cool. And even though the greater human murder rate is from the guns, but that's anyway. I already said that. Basic complexity, I have 52 whole seconds left. I'll use them later. You're 1 square. For D, if you got it.
Yeah, I do.
Smoke them if you got them. I'm kidding. I don't smoke at all. I care too much about my lungs. And as I've said before, smoking took my mom from me. So anyway, but go ahead.
Apparently that you, even would you to the murder? So, yeah, appreciate everything you have in life, even the things you consider to be extremely minor. Yeah, just think about it. Imagine what life would be like if we never had those minor things.
All right. And my 1 square, pretty much just the one concluding thing. Yeah, this scenario is almost farcical, but sadly, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility. The hashtag VerseTV yes or no family question. Do you think this is possible? Outlawing folding chairs?
Hashtag CerebralTV223 at A Girl Has No President at CircusFairy33 at It's Kimberly Renee at eTalkCTY hashtag VerseTV223E.
Do you want to know something wild? So I need to renew my permanent disability parking permit every few years. Just in case I woke up one day and magically had perfect vision and didn't need it anymore. Well, if I lived in Tennessee, I would need to renew it every 2 years. Do you know how often a gun owner in Tennessee needs to renew their firearm permit? Take a guess. I'll wait. Every 8 years. And that's not all. When I renew my permanent disability parking permit, my doctor needs to complete a number of forms proving that my permanent incurable blindness is in fact still permanent. This means I need to make arrangements to get to their office, and I need to make arrangements to get to the DMV because it can only be renewed in person, and I'm permanently blind and can't drive myself. Gun owners, on the other hand, all they need to do is provide an inventory of their current firearm supply, and they can only renew their permits online. How is it easier for me as a blind person to get a gun permit than it is for me to get a permanent disability parking permit?
Since you ask, Black people in the United States on average were more successful than Asian Americans up until the 1950s and 60s when the United States started pushing the model minority myth. If you look at census data from the 1940s, Black people were earning significantly more than Asian people. But the United States was engaging in military actions in Asia under the guise of bringing democracy and fighting against communism when the rest of the world started to wonder, with the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II, the Chinese Exclusion Act, and Jim Crow, what business did the United States have being in another continent telling other countries how to operate when they treat their own people so poorly? That's when the United States started to say, no, Asians are doing great. They work hard, they're quiet, they don't protest, and they are lifting themselves up by their bootstraps out of poverty. The problem is Black people who are protesting. And opportunities that were previously withheld from both Black and Asian people started being provided to Asian people and continued to be withheld from Black people. Then in 1964, when the Civil Rights Amendment finally passed and Black people were supposed to receive equitable access to those opportunities, in 1965, the United States opened the door to Asian immigration with the Hart-Celler Act and continued giving those opportunities to Asian people. Very importantly, the ability and resources to open, own, and operate businesses in Black neighborhoods, which effectively deprived Black people of the ability to invest in their own neighborhoods. Now, in case you're still thinking, no, it really is about emphasis on education, by the 1980s, an Asian American without a high school diploma was earning about the same as a white person without a high school diploma, and both were earning significantly more than a Black person without a high school diploma. So that has nothing to do with educational attainment and everything to do with the opportunities provided. But also that you inserted yourself in a conversation between two Asian Americans to weaponize Asian American identity against Black people is just gross.
You can explain this better than me, but you're saying that they have this rule where they don't have to pay you 100% of the WGA rates.
Yeah.
For 3 seasons, so that's why every 3 seasons they reboot it under different names. Or something.
It's like Hannah Montana Forever and Sweet Life on Deck.
Yeah,
Yes, they have a deal with, I don't know if it's the unions or if it's the IMF, but they had a deal where the first 3 seasons of a show you get paid 88% of scale.
Okay.
So it's 88% of like minimum wage pretty much for the crew. And then the idea is you work on a show, it becomes popular, you go 4, 5, 6 seasons and you get 100% and whatever that is. But then by the 3rd season, even if the show's popular, they reboot it as a brand new show. So we were Liv and Maddie for the first 3 seasons, and the last season was Liv and Maddie Cali style.
Oh my God.
California.
And it's technically a new show.
Yeah.
So they can go back to paying you like shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
It's in our contracts that we can't renegotiate unless everybody decides to renegotiate. Very smart lawyers over there in the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
You know the film Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Willy Wonka and them? Well, I just found out that the Oompa Loompas weren't from Loompa Land. Nay, they were enslaved Africans. Willy Wonka was an enslaver giving away tickets to white children to tour his chocolate plantation. Bruh, let me show you. Here's the modern, sanitized version of the book. Aren't they fantastic? No higher than my knee. Look at their funny long hair. Now the original and most popular version during the book's peak. Aren't they fantastic? No higher than my knee. Their skin is almost black. Pygmies they are, imported direct from Africa. I discovered them myself. I brought them over from Africa myself, the whole tribe of them, 3,000 in all. He goes on to say that he smuggled them in large packing cases with holes in them. The Bantu tribe was convinced to work and live at the factory in exchange for cacao beans. Beans. They worked for beans. And now my childhood visceral distaste for this film makes a whole lot more sense.
All right. So that was something to cerebral TV. All right. And I'm Aaron Mack. You can find me AARONMCK at versetv.com. That's AARONMCK at VERSTEAV.com. And you can find Verse TV, hashtag Verse TV, all over social media at hashtag VERSTEAV. And I'll keep stalling because Kevin,
Yes.
are you ready?
Alright, yeah, it was
Getting it
just,
together.
yeah. Okay. Alright, so yeah, it could definitely be found at basic complexity at com. That being the email. And well, once again, um basic complexity. Like hoping that you all know that spell. So you say two words, basic and complexity. Just put them together in a space. And yeah, that's what that is. So basic complexity at versetv.com. Also on, and be sure I'm saying this right. Okay. Yeah. On Instagram, screen name is just basic complexity. Now, also on TikTok, that is slightly different. I don't know how, but someone took basic complexity. So I had to change it slightly. So that's my basic complexity on TikTok. Um, and once again, like I said, take two words, basic and complexity, put them together in a space. But with TikTok, because the name was already used, um, you put my in front of basic and complexity. So yeah, that would work. So yeah, TikTok is my basic complexity. Instagram is just basic complexity, and wow, and at Verse TV is basically basic complexity at versetv.com. And that's what I have.
All right, hashtag First TV family. This has been week 223. And we will see you all next week. Have a good day. Whatever day it is that you are viewing or listening or whatever to hashtag Verse TV, make it a good one. Have a good one. All right. Good night. Well, good day. Good
Whatever.
good time. Yes. All right. Good Time Island. Did you ever watch the show Strangers with Candy?
Actually, no, but I'm aware of it slightly. I've heard of it before.
Cool. All right. Good night. I'll talk later.